Hello and welcome to another episode of D&D Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Today I want to take a look at how to find a game, especially for all of you new players coming in off of Critical Role or Stranger Things who have no idea where to start. Still not entirely sure what D&D even is? The short version is that it's one of the most popular and longest running tabletop role-playing games, a mix between improv role-playing and a chance-based fantasy game. Most of your favorite fantasy RPG video games like Final Fantasy, the Elder Scrolls series, Fallout, and a number of other series were built heavily on the concepts that D&D contains. For a more in-depth introduction, please check out my interactive Intro to D&D video, but I digress. If you've never played a game like this before, finding a group to play with can be daunting. And while you certainly can play by wrangling your dad into playing a druid, and by giving your cat a wizard character sheet, it's generally better to jump into it with a group that wants to be involved. Now, this doesn't mean that everyone has to be experts. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You can all be new. As long as you read the rules, try your best, and don't worry too much about making mistakes along the way as long as you're having fun. I should clarify as well that playing a game with your family is absolutely fine as long as they're interested. But like all things in life, forcing people into something without their enthusiastic consent is generally a terrible idea. Anyway, the easiest way to find a game is to grab a couple of friends, one of the starter kits or the essentials kit, and then take an afternoon to get familiar with the system. Then just start playing through the included story and have a blast. It's a lot easier to find a group of 3 to 5 friends, including yourself, than any of the other methods that are going to be mentioned later. If you are new, then odds are that none of you will be experts, so be prepared to get messy and make mistakes as you play. That's totally fine. Just roll with it. That's all part of the learning experience. If you do happen to have a friend who's into D&D, then you're probably not even watching my video, and instead you're preparing to fight Vecna with your group of level 20 heroes or something. I don't know. But what I do know is that this is as simple as meeting up in your living room with your best friends, or making a private Discord server and getting ready to have a good time. This brings me to my second main method, the internet. I'm personally in like 8 different D&D servers on Discord, and I only ever actually joined one. I just got assimilated into the other ones as I made friends. So if there's one thing that us horse nerds love, it's sharing our hobbies with other people. And D&D is especially a hobby that is meant to be shared, since you literally need a group of friends to play it in most cases. Once you find a foothold in the community, you are stuck like a horse in a gelatinous cube, and will easily find your way into other circles until you find your favorite groups and games to play in. As you start to integrate into the community, don't be afraid to just hang out and vibe for a little bit before joining games. While most D&D players are friendly and chill, they may not be your specific brand of chill, or might be running games that don't particularly interest you. So I do recommend spending just a few days or weeks getting to know your potential group before committing to any long-term games with them. D&D is a lot less fun if you're dealing with any interpersonal drama. So make sure you take your time and find a group that you mesh well with before making any major commitments. In addition to Discord, there are pages on Reddit like r/LFG, which stands for Looking for Game. Websites like Roll20 and D&D Beyond, and I'm sure even Facebook has dozens of D&D groups or pages that you can use to get plugged into online games, or even to find local games maybe. That leads into my next major option as well. Local games. In addition to playing online with friends or strangers, or in person with friends, you can also play in person with total strangers, which is exciting, I know. But don't worry too much. Most of these strangers are soft-hearted nerds, and the D&D community has quickly become a haven for marginalized communities as well. So if you have concerns about being discriminated against or about fitting in, don't worry too much. You'll be warmly welcomed into the community, even if I can't provide a money-back guarantee that your first game is going to be perfect. Anyway, local game stores. Their associated websites or social media pages, Discord, Reddit, and just about any social media or informational source can all help you get plugged into a local, in-person game. I personally play a lot over Discord with a small group of friends, but playing in local game stores is often a wonderful experience as well. I still remember my first major introduction to D&D. It was about 8 years ago at a local brewery called Wix in Riverside, California. They have the best beer and hot wings that I have ever had, so if you're in the area and you're old enough to, I highly recommend you check them out. But I digress. The establishment itself was themed a lot like an old-timey D&D tavern, and as such there was a local D&D group that met up there once every week or so. I don't remember the exact day. Was it Thursday? I don't know. But what I do know is that it was a lot of fun. It was a casual game designed for people who shifted in and out of the group since not everyone could make every single session every single week, and it was generally really easy to just sit down and play for a few hours. It was a ton of fun and was found in the most random of places, so keep your eyes out for games and groups that meet even at places outside of game stores and the other places I mentioned. You never know where a game is going to pop up. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you my own secret hard mode for finding D&D games. Don't ask. Never ask anyone else. Never speak to another soul about your draconic curiosity. You take your secrets to the grave. But wait, you stupid horse. That's probably not going to work, is what you might be saying right now. And to that I say, of course not. It's called hard mode. But seriously, if you want to play a D&D game and are completely unable to find a single other soul to play with, there are some interesting adaptations out there for playing a D&D-based fantasy adventure completely by yourself. Now, I'm not super familiar with them, so I really can't provide much information beyond that, but I do know that the information I can't provide is just a Google search away. Also, I will say that I know Ginny D recently did a video on D&D solo play recently, and it was absolutely excellent. So I highly recommend checking her channel out if anyone wants to know more about it. Anyway, just like anything else, this has just been my best advice and personal opinions straight from the horse's mouth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and sacrifice a goat to the almighty YouTube algorithm. Alright, please don't actually sacrifice any goats because they are super adorable and also alive, so maybe just sacrifice an apple or something instead. Apples. Anyway, it's been a pleasure and I hope you found this video somewhat helpful. Until next time, may the horse be with you.